1 second, let me do it again. Yes. It's important that I see myself. It's like, would you do me? I would do me. Like that video. What's the name of the video?
Silence of the Lambs.
Yes!
She thinks I'm going to cut this bit out.
I just used to it by now.
Where he tucks his junk under his legs
Yes!
in his partially sewn woman's suit.
Yeah.
Would you fuck me?
I would.
I'd fuck me. Yeah. So, on that bombshell, welcome to this week's episode of Mingles with Jingles.
You. Took me long enough.
Yeah. T-shirt of the week. Big Whoop Breweries, LeChuck's traditionally crafted grog since 1990. So this refers to a game that came out the year before you were born.
Yeah, I know you were going there. You actually, you know my birth date better than my mom.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, she never remembers when I was born.
It's easy for me to remember because it's the same as my mother's birthday.
Yep.
Birthday, not birth date.
Have you got something for her?
Well, that's a good point.
Every year I have to remind him, have you bought something to your mom for her birthday?
Interflora's great thing. Yeah, it'll be fine.
I love her so much.
She is. My mum's great.
Yeah, she likes Brussels sprouts. Just like me, we are very much the same.
It's the devil's vegetable.
Every now and then she sends me, like on Messenger, she sneaks me photos of naked muscular men, and I never know how to answer back. Like fireman, and then during Christmas she sends me a photo of one with like a Santa hat with like bare shirts and
You know, she's 70 this year.
I know. I never know how to answer to it though.
I'll have to send her a strippogram.
Yes, you should.
I would kill her.
Like heart attack.
Yeah.
Oh no. You'll probably make her day, like a stripper cake with like a guy dressed as a fireman coming out of the cake for her.
We don't need this anymore.
Oh, come on. Sorry.
Anyway.
The beer.
The beer,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh my God.
So, we're still going.
This is mine.
Yes, that one's yours.
Yes.
That's the Belgian Leffe.
Leffe, yeah, I miss
You
this.
can even have a Leffe glass.
Oh, thank you. Oof, hair everywhere.
Tell you what, I'll do it.
Thank you. I love Leffe. I found out about Leffe in Bastogne.
Oh, right. Because I first had it. Me and my friend Roy were doing that road trip to the Netherlands to do the Operation Market Garden route. Last year? Was it last year? Yeah, it was.
It
last
was
year.
just a year and 2-3 weeks ago, thanks to Facebook memories, because Jingles video called me almost every night just to check how the cats were doing, if they were still alive.
We'd only just got Nakazuki. We'd had her a month.
He did not trust me to keep the cats fed. So he voice chatted me.
For good reason.
So he voice chatted me every night.
But that was when I first had Leffe. We're in a...
It's good. You want sip sip?
It's okay, I've got... I don't even know what it is yet, I've never tried it. We were in the first night there, we stopped in Calais. So Roy and I drove over.
Yeah.
Stopped in a place in Calais, nice little hotel, and went to this really nice little bar where we had some great food and that for the first time ever, and it was absolutely fantastic. I've always been trying to get my hands on this stuff ever since. Really, really good Belgian beer.
Do you want a sippy sip for memories?
It's alright.
Okay. What do you have?
This.
Alright.
Never heard of it.
Same.
German, I think. Yep, definitely German.
Looks very angry at the words, so there has to be German.
Veltins Pilsner. From Grevenstein. Never heard of it. Since 1824. So, if anybody's actually heard of this and knows what it's like, great. If not, also great, because I'm about to find out. I'm sure it's good. It's German Pilsner. Unless it's is there such a thing as a bad German Pilsner? Let me know, so I can avoid it. So,
Oh, by the way,
yeah.
while you're pouring, there was, because 2 weeks ago you were accused of advertising alcohol to minors.
Oh, right, yeah.
So you defended that argument on the last Mingles with Jingles, and there was this one person in the comment sections that said, well, Rita looks like she's 19 or 20, so yes, you're advertising to minors. I don't think he meant it as a compliment, but I'll take it.
19 or 20. You know, in the civilised world, 18's the legal age.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. 16 in some, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think that was the intent, but that was the nicest compliment I've had in a while, so thank you.
This isn't bad. I think that's better, but this is okay.
Can I try?
Yeah.
You need to try mine. I'm
Go
very
on.
insisting, yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely...
Yeah, I prefer that. That is, I barely have no taste coming out of that. No. I feel a bit of acidity, and that's it.
Yeah. It's fairly pedestrian, but it's not bad.
It's like drinking out of a bad water tap.
Oh, please. It's nowhere near as bad as that. It's all right. It's a decent Pilsner.
Okay.
It's not Kolsch. Anyway.
Yes, let's start this.
So, talked about renting software last week. You
Oh,
remember
yes.
that? How it's only a matter of time before that's the way you buy your games. Although you could argue that when you've been paying a subscription to an MMO like World of Warcraft, you've been renting your games for the last 15 years. But, but I started to think about it. In certain circumstances, it's not a bad idea. Like, do you remember? I can't remember the exact circumstances, but I've got a bunch of external hard drives.
Yeah.
One of them's permanently plugged into the PlayStation 4 as external storage, and I use it to transfer video from recorded on the PlayStation to the PC where I can edit it. And I can't remember the exact circumstances, but I have another external drive where I keep a load of stuff that I don't have on the PC. Photographs, videos of, personal stuff, the cats, for example. When all of the video of Akazuki when she was growing up was kept on this external hard drive. And for one reason or another, I ended up overwriting it and formatting it, thinking it was the drive that I used to store all the video from the PlayStation 4. So I had to try to recover everything.
Yeah.
Now, there's professional software that you can buy, which I ended up having to do.
I know that because I was the one who mentioned that.
Yes.
Because he was like, "Oh, it's lost forever." I was like, "Wait a second,
Wait a second,
Paul.
she said.
There's this.
You
This
could-
software exists." Yeah.
So, but here's the thing. How often am I ever going to use data recovery software?
Not very often.
So,
Even
wouldn't
you.
Yeah, exactly. So wouldn't it be a better idea to rent it?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm okay with that.
I'd rather pay $10 to rent data recovery software for a week, and then never use it again, than pay $60 for a full price data recovery program that I'm only ever going to use once.
Yeah.
Or there's free data recovery software that you can download, but then you're kind of rolling the dice a bit.
You
aren't
won't be as good. Yeah.
Because A, is it going to be as good? B, is it going to be riddled with malware and spyware? Or even if it isn't riddled with malware and spyware, you're going to have to download it from the kind of site that probably would be, or at the very least tries to trick you into clicking any number of buttons disguised as download buttons, but which actually take you to other sites that are filled with malware and spyware. So under certain circumstances, renting software isn't actually that bad an idea.
Yep.
That was a bit of a conversation killer. I just thought I'd bring it up.
I mean, it's in an instance like that. Yes, in games, I'm not a big fan of that.
No.
Because I may want to replay the game. I have most of the games I play, even World of Tanks and World of Warships, I go by phases, and I play incessantly for like a month, and then I forget that game for the rest of the year.
Well, that
And I do
might
that
not
with the
be.
most.
That might be a good idea, because I tend to be the same. I actually haven't played World of Warships in a while. I've been playing other stuff. Been playing a lot of
Same.
Elite. I've just started playing Observation. Great game, by the way. It's been on my Steam wishlist for months, and then I finally realised it was out, and I've been playing it this afternoon. getting hilariously off track here. Basically, do you remember when I did those Lone Echo videos about the AI and the woman trapped on board a space station orbiting around Jupiter? It was a VR game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like Lone Echo, same setup.
Oh yes, I remember that. Yes.
Yeah, but it's
yes.
not VR. Anyway, it's a great game. I'm almost certainly going to be doing a video on it because it is really, really good. But the point is that I don't play the same games all the time. I go through phases. And if it was going to work out cheaper to just rent the title, like pay $5 to rent the game for a week, you finish the game in a week, you think, yeah, that was a bit shit. You only spent $5. And if you, I mean, alright, World of Tanks is a free-to-play game, so it doesn't really... But in other circumstances, if you were playing other games that were full-price games, and you think, yeah, I'm getting bored of this now. If it would work out cheaper to rent it, rather than to... Because, I mean, the prices of the AAA game, I mean, you're talking $60 minimum, and then the DLC, and the season pass, and blah, blah, and so on and so on. In some ways, it might work out cheaper to actually rent a game rather than actually, pay for it full-time. Especially if it's the kind of game that you know you're going to replay, but you might not touch again for 6 months.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I'm sure that the developers would figure out a way to make it more expensive overall, but it may be more convenient. Because things like premium time in World of Tanks, for example.
Don't the developers, I would say the publishers.
Yeah.
Because
the
developers, they most of the time, just genuinely want to make a good game.
Yeah, they just just want to make the best game they possibly can.
The monetary part comes because of the publishers and
trying to wring every last cent out of the work of the developers. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, things like premium time in World of Tanks, or World of Warships as well, where you might open a super container in World of Warships, your daily crates, you might get lucky and there's a super container, and bang, you've got, well, I don't even know if you get premium time in a super container, but as an example, you work full time, you don't really have time to play the game every day, but then you've got 3 weeks leave coming up.
Oh man.
And you get 2 months premium time, but you can't use that, and it expires because you're not playing it. I mean, if you could activate the premium time when you were actually playing the game, that would be great. That's something I think people have been asking for ages, but it's never going. Well, I don't know, it might happen. There's no sign of it happening anytime soon.
I remember the days I used to play World of Tanks. I used to get like 1 million credits a session. Nowadays, I barely manage to even scrap near that.
Stop playing tier 8.
Yeah.
Play those tier 5, 6s and 7s, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, do you remember when Microsoft launched Mixer?
I do.
Yeah, as a competitor to Twitch, and this is Microsoft we're talking about here. They're not a small company. They've got the money to throw around, and they did that by buying a bunch of, I think they were Fortnite players, were they? People like Shroud
pretty
and Ninja.
much.
I'd never heard of
people
them.
I would not miss leaving Twitch.
So they basically signed these massive contracts, millions to go and play exclusively on Mixer, and as a result, Twitch.
I think one of them got 30 million.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never need to work again. And I think Twitch got all snotty about it and shut down their Twitch accounts.
Oh yeah, they did.
And, well, anyway, Mixer just shut down.
Yep.
So, yeah, it failed miserably. Mixer's shutting down. As of the 23rd of July, any visitors to Mixer streams will be directed to Facebook Gaming instead. Is that even a thing, Facebook Gaming?
Oh yes.
Okay, well, there we go. So people like Ninja and Shroud, who signed exclusive contracts to move to Mixer, are now free to go back to Twitch, assuming Twitch will have them.
I mean, it's money. It's a lot of money, so...
Well, here's the thing though, because there is now another alternative, although very, very shortly will be. Because it turns out that watching Microsoft fail to match Twitch, or even YouTube's numbers, hasn't dissuaded Trovo from having a go with their own new streaming service with a $30 million partner incentive program. Who the fuck are Trovo?
I heard about them for the first time from you, and I'm a live streamer, so...
Yeah, exactly. So I only found out about it because I was investigating the news. Microsoft failed, we know who they are, so who are Trovo? Well, if you dig deep enough into the Trovo API access terms, you'll find this. The Trovo service is offered by T-Live LLC, an affiliate of Tencent Holdings Limited. You've heard of Tencent, haven't you?
Nope.
You haven't? Okay, that's quite surprising actually. Tencent are a giant Chinese
Let me see.
media corporation.
Where is it written down?
Yeah, Tencent.
Tencent. No,
Yeah.
I have not.
Giant Chinese media. Oh, yeah, you guys all know who Tencent is. They own a significant interest in Epic Games. And they're also competing with Steam via their Wii Game digital storefront. Have you ever heard of that?
Nope.
I had never heard of that. And yet, it's massively popular. It's not Steam numbers, but they have 70 million active users a month, mostly in the Asian market.
All right.
So they're not nobody. They're not Microsoft, but they're not nobody. And that's now coming. There's rumours that people like Shroud and Ninja, the guys that originally signed the contracts with Mixer to leave Twitch, are setting up with Trovo instead. I think that's the thing, because Tencent, they don't really... I don't think they're planning on beating Twitch at their own game. I don't think anybody's going to be able to beat Twitch at their own game. Mixer tried, with Microsoft's backing, it failed miserably. But they generate enough interest for it to be profitable, like their Wii game storefront, which it doesn't approach a fraction of the numbers that Steam has. But they've got holdings in the Epic Games Store, which is competing against Steam. They've got their own storefront, which is competing against Steam and is very, very popular in Asia. So there was all those rumours, allegedly, that Tencent, if you installed any software that had anything to do with Tencent, people were saying Chinese spyware, blah blah blah. Well, a lot of people were up in arms about Tencent buying out
They do
significant
the same
share.
with Russian software. Yeah.
I don't think anything has ever been proven, but that hasn't stopped people saying it. So yeah, Tencent flexing their corporate muscles even further and trying to get into the live streaming market now. Speaking of Twitch, what the hell happened to Dr. Disrespect? See, I only heard of him because you watch him and you think he's hilarious.
I used to watch him.
Right.
I used to watch him.
There was that DayZ where there was a Vietnamese or a Chinese guy that was on. He was in the room with this guy, and they were just insulting each other.
No. That was Zombie Barricades.
Oh, that wasn't Dr. Disrespect.
No.
That was hilarious.
If you have the time to spare, go and check out Zombie Barricades. He does amazing role playing.
That's not my glass.
Hey. He does amazing role playing on Twitch.
Oh wait, was he the guy who used to hide in the boot or the trunk of somebody's car?
No, that was another one.
That was another one.
That was another one.
I was coming. She's laughing like a turkey. Right. I come in. What are you watching? And it's always somebody in DayZ. Or DayZ for you people in
No, this was what you're mentioning. It was I think H1Z1.
Okay.
And Zombie Barricades. He was in the house, and there was a Chinese young man in the same house, and they were trying to kill each other, and they had the most childish yet funny argument that I ever seen in gameplay.
Because the Chinese, I mean, the streamer didn't speak Chinese, but the Chinese kids spoke enough English to be understood. But his insults were hilariously funny. Because he spoke enough English to make himself understood, but he didn't really understand how to insult somebody in English, so it was hilarious.
Every now and then I'll go back and I rewatch it. Zombie, thank you so much for making this sort of content. I'm actually a moderator in this channel.
Really?
Yeah. The Asian kid, they started making...
The two of them were having a great time though. They were really getting into it.
Laughing.
Both of them were laughing their asses off at each other. It was great.
But it's just the broken English from the Asian man. He was... because Zombie was like... He started doing the childish thing, mentioning the other guy's penis. Yeah. And the Asian guy was like, my dicka, bigger and stronger, like Optimus Prime. And oh god.
The Optimus Prime Chinese dick kid.
Bigger and stronger.
It was so funny.
You need to check it out. It's on YouTube as a highlight. You need to check it out.
But there was that other guy that used to...
man.
He was in DayZ or something, where he would hide in the trunks of people's cars.
He
would talk to them.
That was back when Daisy was still in Armour Tree.
Right.
And he would hide for hours in the trunks of the vehicles.
And then wait for somebody to come and get in.
He would do the very smart thing of marking them in a map, because if you mark something in a map, everyone else could see it. But if someone who's a noob will think, this is just marked just for me, so I'm gonna hide the car, I'm gonna mark it. So people, of course, will go and pick up the car.
Then they're driving along, and suddenly there's this, because they have this like local voice thing where you can speak, and you'll be heard by people who are within a certain distance.
Yeah.
So he's in the boot of the car. He starts freaking this guy out.
Thing is, at the time, most people did not know that people could enter in the trunk of the car. So people are like, what the hell is going on? Like, leave me alone, you're hacking, you're cheating. It's like, no, he's just laying down inside of the trunk. Funny stuff. Yeah.
None of which, of course, has anything whatsoever to do with Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah.
Massive Twitch streamer. He's got 4 million followers, 1.2 million subscribers.
I used to watch him a lot back in 2018 before the whole...
Before you grew up.
As well, and then he got caught cheating on his wife, and it's just things change after that, and I never really...
Well, anyway, so his 4 million follower Twitch account has apparently been permanently banned. Like, was it like 2 days ago?
About that, yeah.
Yeah. And this is just 3 months after he'd signed a 2-year contract with Twitch for what he quoted as a life-changing amount of money. And he claims that Twitch hasn't given any reason for banning his account.
Yep.
It's not the first time he's been in the shit with Twitch, though.
Oh yeah, he live streamed inside of a men's bathroom.
Yes.
Public bathroom.
At E3 last year.
Yeah.
He went on 2 occasions, his cameraman followed him into the public bathrooms at E3. And so Twitch suspended his account for a couple of weeks for breaching their privacy guidelines.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, that also got him thrown out of E3. The E3 organisers saw what he was doing and they just threw him out of the building. So, yeah. Also, musician Jimmy Wong, who I didn't know was the younger brother of filmmaker Freddie Wong. You know Freddie Wong?
No.
She doesn't know Freddie Wong. Video Game High School?
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
Rocket Jump?
Nope.
Oh, wow. Anyway, Freddie Wong. Amazing YouTube filmmaker. And his younger brother, Jimmy Wong.
Isn't that the guys that made the animation with the cat on a tank or something like that?
Yes!
Alright,
Yeah.
alright.
Medal of Honor Cat.
Yes!
That's Freddie Wong.
Alright, I know
You
who they
must watch Medal of Honor Cat.
It's a classic.
Brilliant. Yeah.
It's a classic.
So anyway, he works with a lot of people that I've been following. People like Corridor Digital and Corridor Crew. The guys that do the VFX artists react to good and bad CGI videos.
Yeah, I think you forced me to watch that one once or twice. It's really not
Anyway,
my kind of...
In the past, they worked with Freddie.
Yeah.
Anyway, Freddie Wong's great, but his younger brother Jimmy Wong, was that right? Where is it?
Wang.
Yeah, Wong.
Wong.
His younger brother compiled a series of clips of Dr. Disrespect using caricatures of Chinese accents and accused him of racism. So, what?
Well, it was dirty, so I cleaned it with my saliva.
Thank you. So I've watched these caricatures. I think you'd have to go a long way. You'd have to stretch the truth a long way to say that this was even accidental racism. It wasn't Chinese. It was. He does this. I don't watch Dr. Disrespect, but I read this and I thought let's go and investigate. So I did a search for Dr. Disrespect Chinese caricature, and he does this thing on his stream where he does a made-up language.
Yeah, he does.
It's not Chinese. It's not Korean. It's not. It's just shit that he makes up, and apparently this is racist against. Well,
that's the thing. When there's this one thing he does. Every now and then he shouts Raul, and it's very Portuguese. I'm like Portuguese/Spanish, and as someone who's Portuguese and I'm actually part Spanish. I'm not that far down the line. One of my ancestors was a Spanish Civil War refugee, so I have some Spanish mix, which understands. It's understandable why I'm so conflicted as an individual, but like. As a Portuguese/Spanish, I don't see a problem with that.
Well, apparently somebody did. Somebody, it doesn't matter what you do, somebody's going to find it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So yeah. Now here's the thing: Twitch won't even confirm that he has been banned, according to The Verge, and Twitch certainly aren't telling anybody why. The only thing Twitch has said on the matter is, and I quote, "As is our process, we take appropriate action when we have evidence that a streamer has acted in violation of our community guidelines or terms of service. These apply to all streamers, regardless of status or prominence in the community." So, go on.
There is this one big gaming journalist, Slasher.
Yeah, never heard of them.
Yeah, well, he got some insider information. He's not giving it all, but he has confirmed that he was permabanned.
Yeah.
And the subscriptions, they bounced back.
You would not believe the number of people desperate to gain a bit of fucking exposure by jumping on the Twitter train associated with the Dr. Disrespect alleged Twitch ban, who are tweeting that I have insider knowledge on what really went on.
No.
Out of respect for the sensitivity of the situation, I'm not at liberty to say. Yeah.
I can relate with that.
So anyway, yeah, appropriate action. Twitch is going to take appropriate action, but what is the appropriate action for? We don't even know what it was that he's supposed to have done.
No.
We don't know that he has been banned.
Yeah.
We don't know what the appropriate action, or apparently the appropriate action is to ban him. But what is the appropriate action? Is it a ban? Is it a suspension? Is it to do absolutely nothing? Which is what Twitch does if you happen to be a female streamer with big tits who gets drunk on vodka during her streams, throws her pets around the room, brags about how she got a green card by duping some schmuck into falling in love with her, and then openly laughs about the amount of money that she makes every month by issuing false copyright strikes against people who have anything bad to say about her. Ooh, that's me in the shit. And
that's your channel ban.
Because Twitch does absolutely nothing about that.
That's your channel ban, because guys have been getting banned for talking about these issues on YouTube. They have been getting their Twitch channels banned because of that.
I think the timing, however, is a little suspicious, because in the wake of numerous allegations of sexual assault and harassment in the video gaming industry, just last week Twitch announced that it's reviewing cases related to streamers as quickly as possible with a priority on, and I quote, the most severe cases, and will begin issuing permanent suspensions immediately, or bans, where warranted. They also said in many of the cases, they also said, and now nobody's paying any attention to me, and they're all looking at Akazuki.
Keep up.
What's going on, baby? Hey.
That can being held against my will.
Yeah. Akazuki, blink twice if you need. What?
I can't.
What?
That's something that zombie barricades do in GTA 5. I'm sorry for derailing the subject, but zombie barricades, he does GTA 5 role-playing now.
Okay.
And you can do all sorts of commands to the characters. God damn it.
The hydroponics units just switches.
And you can even choose the character to blink, to wave, to dance, do everything you want. Like scratch his ass like Boo on the ground, everything. And it's like, because he plays as a gangster, and he's like, he pans the camera to this character's face, and it's like, if I blink twice, you gotta go. And he blinks twice with his character. It just became a meme in the channel. So
speaking of Boo, by the way, who was dragging his ass over the carpet last week.
I had to wash it. After that,
people were saying,
after that video,
you need to take him to the vet. He needs to have his anal glands expressed. Yeah, I'm aware of what that is. I know it's a thing. You can't take a pet to the vet unless it's an emergency at the minute. The vets just, they don't have the capacity to cope. Akazuki, she's due her vaccination boosters from when she was a kitten.
Yeah.
And the vaccinations that she had, you can go 3 months from the date that they're due, at which point after that, she needs to have the vaccinations again. The booster won't do. And 3 months from the date when she needed to get the booster is the 1st of July. And the earliest we can get her into the vet is the 1st of July.
Zhu needs a checkup.
Zhu needs a checkup because I'm sure she's coming down with arthritis because she's getting old.
And Krishalin has missed her booster. because of the COVID as well. So
So-
all pets in the house.
Yeah. Unless it's an emergency, you just can't get them to see a vet. So,
Yeah, she's starting to walk a little bit.
yeah. I've noticed when she's coming up the stairs, she's a bit stiff, but she's getting old.
She's a very polite cat. If you my God, she just shook the whole cat trees, both of them.
She's a bit of a chonker.
Yeah. She's a very polite cat. If you ask her to move out of the way, you very politely ask her. It's like, excuse me, and she gets out of the way. Back in the day,
you call her, she comes.
yeah. If
She's
she's sitting on your chair, just call her. It's Juju, excuse me, and she stands up and walks away. When not long ago, like even a year ago, she would even run just to get out of your way, and now she just walks very slowly. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a good girlie, but I'm old. I'm getting old. So bear with me, woman. Yeah, she walks very slowly now. Poor thing. Anyways, back to topic. I'm so sorry. People are saying in the comment sections like, we want the old Mingles with Jingles because all the cats and her, they distract you. Sorry.
It's not like me to get distracted in the middle of the conversation, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where were we? Oh yeah, the timing. Because in the wake of numerous allegations of sexual assault and harassment in the video gaming industry, just last week Twitch announced that it's reviewing cases related to streamers as quickly as possible, with a priority on the most severe cases, and will begin issuing permanent suspensions immediately where warranted. They said, in many of the cases, the alleged incident took place off Twitch, and we need more information to make a determination. In some cases, we will need to report the case to the proper authorities who are better placed to conduct a more thorough investigation, Twitch said in a statement. It also committed to ensuring appropriate due diligence in its investigations. For those who've come forward and would like to share additional information, and to anyone who hasn't shared their experience and wants to do so, you can report confidentially through the reporting tools on each streamer's channel page. So that report button, that's how you can use it.
All right. Good to know.
Now, as documented by the streamer band's Twitter feed, the hammer has already fallen on a number of streamers, including Bless RNG and I Am Spoon. Do you know them?
Never heard of.
Me neither. Who both acknowledged their misconduct. And Warwich TV, who deleted his Twitter account after being accused, with screen captures of conversations, of grooming a teenager. So is this what's going on with Dr. Disrespect? Quite honestly, despite what you may have been led to believe by the people who on Twitter who are desperate for exposure, tweeting that they know the real truth but they can't say out of respect for the delicate nature of the case, the only people who actually know are staying quiet. For now.
Yep.
Because Twitch has not actually confirmed at the time of recording this that Dr. Disrespect has actually been banned or even suspended.
That's
But you could see during the stream the moment when he got the news.
Oh yes, the ending, his last live stream was very awkward. He knew it was coming.
There's a point where he stops,
About 2 minutes,
And-
38 seconds, I think.
pulls his phone out of his, well, we assume it was his phone, it's his hands off camera, and he looks and his face just,
He just
From that
made a
point
very big,
yeah. And from that point on, it was a really awkward stream.
yeah. Thank
So-
God that thing stopped. I'm so sorry, I forgot to disconnect it. Every
So-
other week I forget. Thing is, he's probably, and he's definitely rounded up by lawyers. So he's not saying anything unless he's permitted to.
Yeah, he's issued one tweet
One tweet and
saying
that's it.
that, yeah, I've been suspended, that Twitch hasn't told me why,
Yeah,
basically.
that was it. And it's
that's
fair
it.
enough, you cannot get in trouble for that. And if,
And I think if you check out the terms of service, Twitch doesn't have to tell you why. They reserve the right to terminate your account at any time
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
yeah. Thing is, and I saw this tweet was from Sumit1G. He's a big live streamer. I used to watch him, not so much anymore. But he said on Twitter that usually people are, in the normal world, people are innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
That on the internet happens the other way around, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're guilty the second the allegations are made.
Exactly.
The second the accusation is levelled against you, you're done.
Yeah.
Whether it's true or not, it doesn't
Exactly. And I mean, we don't know the reasons. I don't want to speculate anything because I know from personal experience how that's like, and you know, So I rather just stay silent, and if the information comes out, it comes out. If it doesn't, then it's really none of my business. Yeah.
Well, anyway, the last week has seen an outpouring of allegations of sexual misconduct, predatory behaviour and sexual assault in the gaming industry. And the big publishers and developers have all responded with statements that they take this sort of thing very seriously, etc., etc. With, for example, Ubisoft saying they must do better to create an inclusive and safe environment for our teams, players and communities. The usual lawyer-approved PR statement that you'd expect. It's absolutely a good thing that any of these allegations are investigated and they're dealt with appropriately, because everybody deserves to work in an environment free from harassment, racism, sexual harassment, whatever. Nobody deserves to work in that kind of environment. However, as an example, one Ubisoft marketing manager has been accused of rape. One creative director was accused of choking a female employee. A former Ubisoft Sophia employee said the studio was rife with racist and homophobic jokes, and many Ubisoft employees have complained that Ubisoft's Human Resources Department never did anything about it. Riot Games, League of Legends developer, they vowed to clean up their act following last year's revelations of workplace discrimination and harassment. They've talked a lot about their changes since then, and some of their intentions do sound genuinely good.
Okay.
At the same time, they have made statements brushing over such incidents in the past, and the punishment for one executive accused of dry-humping colleagues, farting in their faces and hitting them in the balls was sensitivity training and 2 months unpaid leave.
Wow.
It took a staff walkout for them to finally settle a discrimination lawsuit that they tried to shut down, and only this month an executive who's since left brought shame on them again with a vile Facebook post about the killing of George Floyd. And this is from a company who loudly and clearly stated an intent to change and put millions of dollars into related causes. So when Ubisoft and other games publishers proudly state that they're committed to ensuring a safe and inclusive environment for all of their employees, are they going to do it, or are they just going to offer a couple of sacrificial lambs like the Assassin's Creed Valhalla creative director who recently stepped down to sort out his marriage after being accused of cheating on his wife? And will they just hope that will, satisfy everyone and we'll all just shut up and go away?
I have been live streaming for a very, very long time. I have been
excuse me.
It's like I also have been running a blog for over 5 years now, and I have been passed things along numerous times. Some of it I have, passed back to wargaming, but other things is just really things that this is very hard for me to say in English.
I can see.
But I have witnessed so much homophobic, transphobic, sexual harassment in this community that is just... Sorry, I'm a bit hormonal. It's that time of the month. Too much information. But sorry, guys. It's just really sad.
People like Fiora the Tank Girl. And
Fiora, Zobalds. I like to hang out, in these channels. I don't care, whatever people want to do with their private lives. It's their fucking life. It's their own fucking choice. It's none of my business. Whatever makes people happy, as long they're not hurting others unconsensually.
Yeah, as long as they're not hurting people who don't want to be hurt.
Exactly. And even just, most of the time I don't say anything, but I just lurking their channels, and I see the amount of harassment these people get, and it's just so undeserved. And I sincerely wish that companies like, for example, Wargaming would tackle this issue more seriously. I know a guy who stopped live streaming altogether just because he was black. The amount of harassment, and this came even from other live streamers, that he got, and these things are public, clips and so on, they are all public, that this guy received just because of the color of his skin is just so fucking wrong. And it angers me so much. This sort of hate is allowed to fester.
I mean, I'm an old white man.
Yeah.
There's no better time to be alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And once my YouTube channel started getting a certain number of views, I started getting people that were turning up just to give me shit.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm an old white man, so the amount of shit I was getting was fairly minimal in comparison. But even that very, very nearly killed my interest in YouTube as a career quite early on. I just had to. I mean, it helps that I spent 22 years in the military and was used to being given shit, because that's just your military sense of humour. So
Yeah.
I was probably better placed to deal with it than a lot of people would be. But it was tough. People shitting on you for no other reason than because they could.
Yeah.
And you know, it was I got over it. I learned to, you know, don't feed the trolls, basically. Yeah. Age old internet advice. But not everybody is able to get over it.
There are people like Zoe, people like, you know, even, you know, Fiora, Junkers. These people just wanted to enjoy a game they love, and they have consistently and systematically have had individuals who stream snipe them and get they pretty much stream snipe them as best as they can. These people will spend hours to get into the same matches as these people just to harass them.
Just to shit on them. Yeah, it's amazing the lengths that people will go to be arseholes.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just, yeah, it's fucking disgusting. It's, sorry.
It's okay. It's fine.
It upsets me.
Yeah.
Like, it generally upsets me.
It should upset you. It should upset everybody.
Whew.
Well, anyway.
Yeah.
In other news, I am happy to report that players of Cyberpunk 2077 will be able to choose from no less than 5 different types of pubic hair.
Oh, hey! To a more positive note.
I thought it was time we lifted the atmosphere a little. Yeah, really, that's a thing. Also, CD Projekt Red have announced that if you do get Cyberpunk 2077 on any of the current generation consoles,
yeah,
you will also own Cyberpunk 2077 on the next generation consoles. So if you own a PlayStation 4 when the game comes out and you get it on the PlayStation 4, and then the PlayStation 5 comes out and you get a PlayStation 5, you can still play Cyberpunk on your PlayStation 5. It's going to be tied to your account, not to your console. So CD Projekt Red, they're so classy. They really
bless
are.
them.
5 different choices of pubic hair for your character. Did you watch the Night City Wire stream, which eventually
I did. It was very short. I was expecting something different.
a lot longer.
Yeah.
And obviously they carefully curated what they were showing, but I liked what I saw. I liked the brain dance segment.
Not the pubics.
Not the pubics. No, they didn't share any of that on the stream. They got this system. I was immediately reminded of the thing from Blade Runner, where you could manipulate a photograph to look around the corners in the photo and see things around the in the room next door. You know, complete bullshit magic technology that could never happen. Actually, Jingles, if the room was photo scanned, it was a photograph. It was magic. Okay, stuff like that. That's what it reminded me of. And also the movie Strange Days.
Never heard of.
Oh, it's such a good movie. I can't find it anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Cannot find it anywhere.
Maybe DVD?
I might have to get it on DVD because it's certainly not available on any streaming service. The movie Strange Days was directed, I think, by Catherine Bigelow, and it starred Ralph Fiennes, who was the evil Nazi Hermann Goethe, the leader of the concentration camp in Schindler's List. He's been in all sorts of other stuff.
I love that movie. I watched it multiple times.
Doesn't matter.
I'll have to see his face.
Starred Ralph Fiennes, Angela Bassett, Michael Wincott. I'm listing off a bunch of actors and actresses here you probably never heard of. But basically the idea was it was coming up the year 2000 and society was going crazy for Y2K. And they had this new technology where you could basically record people's... Why are you stop doing that? It was brain dance from Cyberpunk 2077, where there's a new technology which immediately got huge applications in porn.
Okay, I'm paying attention now.
Where you would wear this brain dance unit, and your your experience would be recorded.
Okay.
Right, and then that experience could then be sold for other people to experience.
It's like memories in a sort of
but it's
way.
like it's like being there. It's like you saw what they saw, you heard what they heard, you felt what they felt, you tasted what they tasted. If they got hurt, you felt it. You know, it was. So of course, porn straight away.
VR porn.
VR, yeah. But yeah. But anyway, what was happening in Strange Days, as well as a bunch of other things, there was a guy going around, a really sick rapist, who was raping and murdering women, while making them wear the rig on their head, so that they were experiencing what he was experiencing as he was raping and murdering them. A really sick fuck. Yeah, you would love the movie.
No.
But also there was a black. It's actually there were all sorts of other plot lines going on where there was a black rapper who'd been killed by a bunch of white cops. And there were race riots going on leading up to New Year's Eve, 1999, 2000. And was it all tied in and connected to each other and blah blah and so on and so on. Well, anyway, Braindance in Cyberpunk 2077, same thing. And the example that was given, if you didn't see the Night City Wire stream, was one guy activates the Braindance chip, goes into this grocery store to rob it, and then gets his brains blown out on the way out. And it was a snuff brain dance that was being. The guy didn't know he was going to. His partner set him up to go in and then blew him away as he came out to sell on the black market as a snuff, a flatline brain dance. Apparently, people wanted to know what it was like to die, so they were going around killing people while they were recording to sell this on. And you could go in. And because your brain doesn't actually process, or your conscious mind doesn't actually process everything that you see and hear, even if you hear stuff, but you just filter it out and tune in on the things that are important. So you're trying to figure out who it was who killed him, and you could go in and slow down and fast forward the experience and view it from different angles and see, like, pay attention to what's going on the security camera, because the guy wasn't looking at the security monitor. But it was there in his field of vision, so you could focus on it and zoom in and blah blah, and figured out that it was actually his partner who blew him away because they were recording a snuff flick. So that was a big reveal in Cyberpunk 2077.
That reminds me of.
I really need to get that movie Strange Days from somewhere. It was fantastic.
That series that we've been watching where they keep the stacks in the back of their neck.
Oh, Altered Carbon.
Yes, that's it. That reminds me a lot of Altered Carbon. Yeah, Altered Carbon.
Yeah, based on the Richard Morgan books, which are fantastic. And I mean, the first season was really good. The second season was okay. It was pretty good. I didn't like it as much as the first season. But the books are amazing. Really, really good.
Oh,
Juicy.
She's making earthquakes moving around. Off she goes.
We've gotten wildly off topic. I don't even know where we're going anymore. There was one other thing that I wanted to mention. Microsoft has announced that the temporary lockdown closure of all of its retail stores, which happened in March when the whole lockdown thing started, is now permanent.
Yeah.
They're going 100% digital. Sources at Microsoft said it's not clear if jobs will be lost. I'm pretty sure jobs are going to be lost. If you have 100 stores globally and you shut them all down, and you manage to figure out a way of doing that without anybody losing their jobs, you should be running a country.
Yeah.
Right, not a software developer. So there's that. But on the bright side, we get to choose from 5 different types of pubic hair in Cyberpunk 2077.
I'm gonna go Brazilian.
That's more information than I needed to know. Thank you, Rita. And on that bombshell, that is it for this week's episode of Mingles with Jingles. Now, got my fingers crossed. Okay?
No, I did not study the lines.
First time ever. You never know. Here we go. Rita, this is your chance.
I forgot.
And so, it's good night from me.
And good night from me.
Oh my god.
I did not study, Paul. I forgot to tell you about it.
That's your homework for next week.
Okay. I was never really that much a good student. I never did my homework, let me tell you.
Good night.
And I'll catch you next time.